Welcome viewers to the Womenpreneur Show. I'm Major Sunil Shetty. At My Startup TV, every day is Women's Day. Now let me explain why. Women have been the mainstay of My Startups TV since its launch. Women not only form over 50% of our staff, but they are also in lead roles. Over 30% of our viewers are women, and we are working towards an equal or more representation in viewership too. So, on behalf of My Startup TV, I wish more power to women across the globe. Happy Women's Day. Today is International Women's Day, and we are celebrating it by hosting a series of women entrepreneurs on our channel. We hope their personal and entrepreneurial journey will motivate aspiring entrepreneurs. So let's start with our first guest today. It is Nishtha Yogesh, founder and CEO of Hunar online course. Nishtha believes in vision of women empowerment and has been relentlessly working towards it through her startup. Hunar Online Courses is an online learning platform that aims at empowering women across the country by helping them learn new skills and become financially independent. Welcome to the show, Nishtha.
Thank you, Major. Thank you for having me.
Nishtha, as we were going through, your company website, we found that, you're offering courses which are from, baking to jewelry design to home decor. It is not the regular courses where people talk about, the MBA courses or the diploma courses. These are the day-to-day skills. Tell us about it. I mean, what led you to get into, this space?
I think the journey of my journey to get to this place and why we built courses like this, I think it comes from my past a lot. I was raised in Hyderabad, and Hyderabad is one of those cities where there's a lot more freedom for women. There's a lot more responsibility. There's a lot more women have the flexibility to do. But as I was growing up, I was always aware that there's so many women in our country who are so competent, so capable, want to do so many things, but they do not have access to the right opportunity. And from then onwards, this was when I was 12 years old, I've been working towards doing my piece to help more and more women really take charge of their lives and grow and do what they wanted to. Earlier, it started off by training or educating girl children in government schools. Later, it moved on to, of course, Hunar. But one of the things I noticed very early on, because my mother was a teacher for fashion courses, so I saw how many women were coming into her life and how many women she was able to educate and how they were changing their lives, right? And I always wondered, wouldn't it be amazing if we were able to do this for women across the country in a manner that is convenient, in a manner that is affordable, so that the average Indian homemaker, women across cities in our country, without disturbing their day-to-day life, without stepping out of their homes, how could they learn a skill that they were interested in so that they could start their own home businesses? That was the premise. And then I went out to understand what are the sort of courses these women want to learn. And the answer was astounding. Women wanted to learn courses in fashion. They wanted to learn courses in garment construction. They wanted to make products that they could sell easily from their home. And when we looked, there wasn't anyone trying to teach them these courses. And that's really how Hunar came about. We knew which was the audience that we wanted to work with, who were the customers we wanted to really help. We knew what their desires were, and we knew what they wanted to learn. And then it was just up to me to make sure I did that very well. So that's really how it came about. And that's why you would find that it is unique from other offerings out there. But we have now educated more than 18,000 women and in these courses. And it's very clear to me that women want to learn courses which they can very easily start selling, start earning revenues from for home. And this is those courses.
What would you tell to people who would say, in some ways, these courses are also kind of stereotyping them, isn't it? Like women has to learn baking, fashion, knitting. Why not other courses? What would you tell people if somebody was to take that line of thought?
See, I think first, I think and very respectfully, typically men ask questions like this. I think women don't really necessarily look at it from a stereotyping into a particular area. What we're trying to do here is we're not trying to talk about a very large set of, we're not talking about the audience as one. We're talking about each woman as one. And here you have women who have studied till the 10th or studied till the 12th. And for 5, 7, 10 years, they've been focused on family, they've been focused on other things. And they do have a desire to become financially independent. But they want to do things that they so far have had access to, that so far they have been exposed to. And that is largely some of these courses. These are courses that they feel, and it's also a matter of confidence, right? These are courses that these women are already exposed to, they are excited about, they want to learn, they want to take that and do something with it. And there is so much opportunity in fashion retail, in home services, cooking, that they could actually do all of this without disturbing their day-to-day life. So I'm only trying to solve a problem for an audience that very clearly wants to do this. There are multiple other businesses that are teaching other courses. There are teaching more tech courses, or more courses in the which are more new age potentially, right? And of course, women who want to learn those courses, they could learn those courses as well. But everyone seems to forget that you have 340 million women in our country who are educated and unemployed. And these are women who are typically your average Indian homemaker, right? We have to be able to give them courses that they want to learn. So we're only catering to the demand of people. There is no attempt to stereotype over here, especially because we also help them start their own businesses after this. So after you finish, say, a typical course with us, we'd actually have an entrepreneurship course for them where you can learn how to start your business, and we help them do that as well. So no, we don't look at it as stereotyping at all. We're just looking at it from providing opportunities to women in places that they already want to learn skills in.
Well, that's a very interesting point you make, because I know of people who have actually have turned their skills, like baking skills, into startups. I know somebody who's based out of Coimbatore. She started as, making cakes and biscuits at home, and today she has a flourishing business which is a startup. So this is something that's the skills that you're teaching them. They can be quickly turned into a startup as well, isn't it?
That's exactly the goal, right? And the keywords you've used are that. These are things they're already interested in, and you can quickly turn it into a space for you to earn revenue and start your own businesses. We have so many stories like this. Major would be sharing with us. They've actually started their own home businesses. They've started tailoring units. They are now further empowering more and more people. And they're doing this all from home, within the confines or within the restrictions of their day-to-day life. And that's really critical, right? We need, every generation requires different sort of solutions, and for this audience, and we feel like this is a solution for them.
Also, some of the courses that you're offering, which is around, what your grandmothers and grandmothers used to kind of, help young girls learn. Again, I might look at, kind of putting it into a zone which is only for women, but then that is also in some ways you're also taking the, ensuring that the legacy of learning at home, these skills are alive, isn't it?
Correct, absolutely right. Traditionally, most of these courses were the sort of courses you would learn from your grandmother or your great grandmother, right? We call it the master apprentice setup. You learn from the master. That's not happening so much these days. But these are skills that still, very easily can be learned at home, and that's really what we're doing over here. We want to take them back to their roots. We want to take them back to, a lot of our courses are helping revive a lot of dying arts. Like we have courses in kalamkari, we have courses in hand painting, we have courses in tie and dye, bandhani techniques. So these are all things that your grandparents used to do, and you don't know how to do them anymore. But you could do it at home, and you can now kind of also use that to monetize and earn revenues.
True. As you said, you've trained over 18,000 women. So, cutting across India, different, age groups, different languages. So, do you also have courses which are, where women can take in their own mother tongue or local language?
Yes, that was one key aspect of our of the way we created our product. I thought it was unnecessary or ridiculous to expect that in order to learn a skill you needed to know English. So all of our courses are available in vernacular languages, currently in English, Hindi, and Telugu. And as we launch in new cities, we launch in vernacular languages as well. The whole goal, Major, is to make it as easy as possible for women to learn a course. So we're not adding any more complexities to this process for them. So you can't step out of the house, cool, learn from home. You can't commit to the same number of hours every day, cool. It's pre-recorded content, learn at your own pace whenever you want. You want to talk to a faculty member, video call a faculty member. You want to learn in your own language, we have that for you. So the whole idea is to give them access to great courses, great quality courses, but also give them access to a community, right? I feel like tomorrow, if I get up and say, hey, listen, I want to do a PhD in something, my family will probably support me. But the homemaker audience, educating them is not the family's number one priority. So we've had to be that support for them. So we support them with our ecosystem, we support them by connecting them with other women like them, all coming from different scenarios, but having similar opportunities and similar problems. So Hunar is a safe space for you to come and learn without disturbing your day-to-day life conveniently and meet people who are just like you so you can learn from them, be motivated by them, be encouraged by them, and take all of that support as headwind of sorts and start up your own business.
Okay, your dedication or Nishtha's dedication is Hunar. What got you into it?
I think, honestly, I've always been very interested in the idea of running businesses and causing impact. I started working when I was 12 years old. So I've worked while I was doing my schooling. I got my first full time job when I was 18. And I've always been very, very driven to understand how you can leverage skills, leverage exposure, leverage everything to kind of really cause impact. And growing up in India as a woman, it can be very hard. It is we are a patriarchal country to a large extent. A lot of things are changing, of course, and I keep saying this to everyone. Every day is a better day for a woman to be alive in our country right now. But the point remains is that growing up, you deal with a lot of people telling you this is not the way to do things. You can't do this. That is not expected of you. You don't ever have great support, that your male counterparts take so much for granted. And I always saw that there were so many women who could do so much provided they had the right support and opportunity. So I was from a young age very driven to doing my piece to equalize our gender parity issues in the country. And education, of course, has always been very close to my heart. I do believe education is the biggest equalizer there is out there. Now that added on with technology, it really levels the playing field for everyone. And the combination of these three things and the time that we are in, that's kind of what led me to this. But my journey has been very interesting. By profession, I'm a chartered accountant. I worked about 3 years with a large MNC in the country, after which I went on to get my MBA in entrepreneurship from Babson College in Boston. And this is the third startup that I have built. The first startup was in education as well, but finance education. My second startup was in fashion retail. And my third startup, I like to believe, is a combination of those two and my learnings from those and all the learnings that I've had as a woman in this country. And that's where we are at here. I can just tell you this, that I have always been very motivated to taking whatever skills I have and using them to impact change. And with Hunar, it's an opportunity to do all of it.
Well, what we call them is connecting the dots. All your experiences, your learnings, put them together, and then you come up with a magic, that you can create. You started very early.
I did.
You said 12. At a time where even today you don't see very many 12-year olds starting businesses. How was it?
I think that comes a little bit from my parents. They were always very clear that I had to be independent. And every time they saw me whiling away my time in the summer vacation, they'd be like, what the hell is happening? Get to work. So we kind of really, so that's where my first job came from. And I loved it. I loved going to work every day and like interacting with older people and learning so much. And I really enjoyed it very, very much. I would strongly recommend it for every child. Internships early on in your career give you a tremendous work ethic. It gives you a lot of confidence. It makes you very aware of real life. And I think the earlier you have that exposure, the better it is for you in your growth journey. That being said, I did miss out on some fun times. I really wish I could be able to, just imagine a summer where you could just watch TV all day, something like that. But in retrospective, I think it has shaped me tremendously. And there's no alternative to working hard. And I learned that when I was 12. So that's always, of course, an advantage.
Where do you see in next 5 years Hunar going to? I mean, what would it translate into?
I think the vision for Hunar is to make it very easy for any woman in any part of the country who wants to learn any course. We want to be able to teach them that course and help them gain financial independence. So from a scale perspective, we are hoping to touch in the next 2 years. We're hoping to touch 10 lakhs in educated women, and also hoping to then take all of these women and really help them, give them a platform for them to be able to sell their product as well or sell their services as well. So we want to create like a safe space and a one-stop shop. Come to Hunar, learn a skill conveniently, have a support ecosystem, start selling your product and become financially independent. We want to support our women with financial services, give them access to financing, the whole rigmarole. We want to be at a place where we can look back and say that we have genuinely changed or transformed lives of 10 lakh women. That's really our goal. But that's my 2 year goal. I don't yet have a 5 year goal. But hopefully in 5 years we'll be able to do this for women in other parts of the world as well, and not just in India.
Well, my survey wishes you all the very best, achieving that dream, that goal. What you're doing is great for, for urban population probably or tier two cities where women have access to technology, access to even the will within the family to allow them to, take up these courses and create their own path. Do you have anything in plan for, tier three, tier two cities or towns or villages where they may not still have the technology? Would there be an offline model as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So no, not an offline model, I'm sorry, but we want to make sure that this stays online completely. But contrary to popular belief, right now about 85% of my users actually come from outside of tier one cities. So tier two, tier three, and the peripherals of tier three. I think internet penetration and smartphone penetration in our country has reached very, very high levels. So most women in any part of the country either have their own phone or at least have access to a family phone that they can use. That being said, we are working with various governments to provide these services to low income group women in rural India as well, and the state of Telangana along through WeHub. That's what we're kind of doing. We just did a pilot in the village of in the town of Ramagundam, where we taught 200 women how to do our courses all online and help them really upskill their skill level. And that's the government of Telangana and a WeHub project. So we want to do this for lower income groups through that sort of a structure and really find the right partners for us to do it in low income India. But honestly, it's just a matter of time. I think very soon a lot of India, most of India will be covered with by internet and will have smartphones. So we're not too concerned on. It's just a matter of time. We will get to every home. We will get to every village. Yes.
You're a best person to answer this. When it comes to mindset shift among men, because you're working in, as you said, tier two, tier three on the fringes. What is your experience? How do you see men, evolving? I keep saying this, in the modern age, women have kind of moved on with leaps and bounds. It's men who have been, who are stuck in their past where they still want to control. Do you still see that, especially in the, outside the urban India?
We do see some of that. We have had cases where our student has taken a course with us, and then her husband or her mother-in-law has found out, and she had to come back and ask us for a refund because she wasn't allowed to learn. We've seen cases like that. But again, every day is a better day for a woman to be alive in India right now, and everything is changing quite drastically. I think COVID really also helped in men kind of understanding that having two incomes in a house is beneficial. A lot of men in rural settings or in tier three settings did not have a job through the last few years. And at that point, women who were able to take whatever skill they had and do minor home businesses and basically be able to supplement additional income to the household, it was very well appreciated by the men and the family at large. So now we're seeing a lot of adaptation, a lot of change in attitudes of men as well. They are more open to the idea of women walking with them, matching step for step. They are more women open with the idea of women stepping out of their homes to earn incomes. They are more open to the idea of women earning more than men as well. But yes, it will take some time to really percolate to tier three India or to rural India. But in some ways, to be honest, rural India, women always worked head to head with men, right, in the fields and so on and so forth. So it's very different. It differs from city to city, differs from case to case. But like I said, every day is a better day for a woman to be alive in this country.
Well, it's very heartening to hear, that kind of change, and we hope in coming time, we would see far more changes as we go forward. Finally, before letting you go, Nishtha, MyStar TV is a channel for startups and entrepreneurs like you. What are your thoughts about our channel?
No, I think, I was mentioning this to you earlier. I think one of the big issues is that kids, young people don't have enough role models to look forward to, right? You don't have enough role models. So therefore, of course, you're idolizing athletes or movie stars and all of that. And they're all great, all well worthy of being idolized. But what My Startup TV is doing is you're taking founders and entrepreneurs and real life stories down to the masses. You're giving the youth of the country more faces to communicate with, more faces to hear stories of, more faces that they could probably recognize, and and hopefully with all of this and all of the content that you all are creating, we'll be able to help more women, more men, more young people take that leap of faith, right, and focus on themselves and do what they want to do. And I think that's really the biggest USP of your channel to me. You're putting so many more faces, so many more stories in front of the masses, and giving so many young people the opportunity to relate and to learn from these experiences. And it's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous.
Thank you, Nishtha. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you on some of our other panel discussion and shows. Thank you very
And
much.
we thank you for having me.